Shalom, shalom. We be live. How is everyone? Have you liked the stream, guys? Make sure you like the stream. Today we have an important stream. This is a major game changer that has just happened in Iran. I don't know why more people are not talking about it. This could be the beginning of, well, we'll see, the beginning of the way United States and Israel are going to be operating differently. They're going maybe different ways regards to how they're responding to the threat of the Iranian regime, but we don't know exactly. But we will analyze here together and we will consider everything. So for people who don't know, guys, hi everyone in the live chat, please like the stream and also please mention in the stream that you have liked the stream. Hi Mohsen, hi Dutch Gabbers, hi Sosh say, hi Purple Pulp. Guys, please make sure you have liked the stream, and also write in the stream that you have liked it, so other people get motivated to like as well. I also want to know. Okay, thank you. People are saying like, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. I also want to know if you've heard about this massive explosion in Bandar Abbas. Have you guys heard of this? Like, how many people are aware of this? Let me. So Bandar Abbas is a port in southern Iran, which is the main port of Iran. It's a significantly high percentage of Iranian imports and exports goes through this port, and we just had a gigantic explosion in Bandar Abbas, basically something like we saw in Beirut, right? Let me actually show you footage of, and also we're seeing now some explosions also in Tehran. However, this explosion in Bandar Abbas was absolutely insane. Let me actually show you some footage of the initial. At first, there was this orange fire, but then the fire. At first, it was just a small fire that people were recording, but then it turned into a massive explosion. And the government is saying that around 70 people have died and a lot more people injured, but a lot of people in Bandar Abbas, themselves are saying that the numbers the government is saying is a lie, and the number of people dead are much higher. So we don't know exactly what the number is, but let's look at this explosion first. I'll show you the video. It's a fire, and then the fire turns into explosion. Let's watch the fire first. Actually, let me do it with audio, because that initial video had music, so I couldn't play the audio. But watch this. So guys, just watch this fire, because I think this is the video that is going to show it turning into a massive explosion. Honestly, I like every single person you see in this video, including the cameraman. I don't know if they're alive. So watch this again. So let me show you this again for people who just came here. Let me show you some of the aftermath of what happened. Hold on, let's go to this screen. So this is the aftermath, and I know, so Jean is saying, my spouse told me the following: this seems to be ammonia explosion from rocket fuel that was improperly stored or handled. Okay, so there's a lot of theories, and I'm going to tell you what most of them are, right? So most of the analysis seems to be agreeing that this is the explosion. Again, some people saying it might be something else, but most of the analysis I'm seeing is rocket fuel was imported from China around a month ago and kept in this port, which is, I'll tell you how they're probably using human shield to protect their rocket fuel. So if you guys remember, when Israel attacked the Iranian regime a couple of months ago, they took out some of the most important rocket building facilities that the Iranian regime has in Iran. So the Iranian regime is very, very naked right now, because it has lost all its proxies, and it has lost its capacity to build missiles that it could use for advertising its deterrence capabilities. And also the Iranian regime has lost many of its air defense systems in the previous attacks that the Israeli government, Israeli military did on the Iranian regime. So the Iranian regime cannot make its own, is desperately in need of replacing missiles to be able to have some form of defense. That's why they were forced to actually go and buy this from China about a month ago, and they basically illegally imported that to Iran through this port that you're saying, right? So these rocket fuels either exploded through mismanagement and mishandling, or somebody made them go boom boom on purpose. And so many people are on different camps, like different analysis on whether this was just a mishandling of the rocket fuel, or was it on purpose. And if it was on purpose, who? And there are three main candidates, three main theories on who is responsible for this if this was on purpose. One is Israel. And I know, like, so the IDF came out and said it wasn't us, but honestly, like, the fact that IDF said that, it doesn't make much of a difference anyways, because if this was done by an entity in Israel, it wouldn't have been the IDF anyway, it would have been Mossad. So a lot of people, I think, are wrongly reporting that Israel has denied their involvement, but it's not. The entirety of Israel has not denied this. It was just the IDF, I think, that has denied this. So I don't know, like, some people in the chat, you could confirm if I'm saying. By the way, Sohail is highlighting your comments. Thank you so much, Sohail, for being here. Please highlight a lot of comments because I want to see what people are saying, right? And so that's what. So we have four theories basically: mishandling of rocket fuels, or basically rocket fuels or something else, mismanagement or mishandling. Two, Mossad doing this. Three, the Iranian regime doing this upon itself for the sake of causing chaos and basically hysteria. And the Iranian regime has sometimes attacked its own people to justify doing certain things. So it's not like they have done this before. However, this, I don't think that's what's happening here right now. And the last theory is some elements within the Iranian regime doing this against some other elements within the Iranian regime. For example, the parts of the Iranian regime who don't want a nuclear deal with Trump doing this against the parts of the Iranian regime who do want a deal with the Trump administration. So these are all the multiple reasons. So let me actually before I tell you what why these four theories, why different people are saying, what are the evidence that people are offering for each one of them. Let me actually go show you some more footage of the explosion. So let's look at this one, for example. This is another angle. And guys, please let me know your theories in the chat. And by the way, also Turkey and Saudi Arabia and a couple of other countries offered to come help. Okay, let me actually show you with audio here. Let's go from the beginning. So you can see it was a fire with red smoke as well. By the way, the color of the smoke has been used by analysts to try to come up with theories of what was burning, and a lot of them, a lot of them center around it being rocket fuel that the Iranian regime imported from China to be able to immediately replace the rockets that it has used, and it has the replacement of its ability to create rockets, because right now they are desperate. They're desperate. Okay, so let's watch this. You can see the fire was so. By the way, guys, you can see the fire was so far away, but as soon as the fire turned into an explosion, it just reached the cameraman so fast. Look at the speed that it reaches the cameraman. Watch this. So let's see. So we got a super chat. By the way, guys, thank you, Ginga, for the super chat. And I will also I will read super chats throughout the show. And guys, the super chats and memberships really helps us continue doing what we're doing on this channel. So please, if you want to support us, go ahead and do so. But let me see what Ginga is saying. Hold on, let me play this while I'm reading this. Ginga is saying, Armin, does so many factions in their Islamic regime hold so much power that they can unilaterally perform such a damage to the country? Yes, there are, and there's a history of that. Within the IRGC itself, there are many powerful people. Guys, there are powerful. You know how there are so many conspiracy theories? Like in the US, there is a I don't know, there's a secret government in the shadows that is actually controlling things from behind the curtains. Deep state and stuff. And usually that's not true with modern democratic countries, but it is true with the Iranian regime. There are many people who hold much of the actual power from behind the scenes, and they don't see eye to eye on many things. And we know that not to be a conspiracy theory, because many times the Iranian regime does certain things that Khamenei has declared that they will never do. And many times you could see that he was pressured to do certain things by people within the regime, mostly within the IRGC, that went against the wishes of Khamenei, right? So you could see there are a lot of competition, a lot of people. Hi, D. Also, I want to see what these theories are as well. So there are many people with a lot of power and a lot of money. And because remember, IRGC controls the vast majority of Iran's economy. So there are a lot of financial, economic, and political interest that goes beyond Islamic ideology, and a lot of people don't want to lose their power and influence. So there's a lot of infighting and there's a lot of competition, right? Let's look at. So hold on, let me see if this the caption that it was. Okay, so let's go to this one. Let's look at this explosion, and then we will also go in thinking about why. Here, let's watch this one. Why different theories might be true. This is from another angle. If there is there audio in this one? Okay, look at no, there's no audio. So this turned into a mushroom cloud as well. Yeah. So you can see there's a mushroom cloud here. Okay, so here, this is a interesting take here. Oh, thank you so much. Dutch Gabbers just gave us 5 memberships to people in the chat. Thank you so much for the buying people membership. Again, guys, support becoming member, gifting other people membership or super chats. I will read the super chats, but these are a really good way to support the channel. So I appreciate that. Carmel is saying the scum. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. I think potentially this was Mossad, and I will tell you why. I might be wrong. I'm not married to this position, but a lot of people are criticizing. A lot of Iranians think that we shouldn't say that because this could be the Iranian regime's narrative. However, I don't. In fact, it's very interesting because this is not the Iranian regime's narrative. So let me read this, and I'll tell you why I disagree with it. So this person is saying the scum of the mullah regime in Iran seeks to cause average Iranians to hate Israel and Jews by shamefully blaming Israel for the Bandar Abbas explosion a few days ago. Nothing new here. The regime always blames Israel for their own stupidity, negligence, and incompetence. Actually, this is not true. The regime, for once, is actually trying to tell people that this was not Israel. There are some hardliners that are blaming Israel, but the hardliners are being silenced by the regime itself when they are accusing Israel of this. Like, guys, this is the opposite day, right? Do you guys, can you try to think of why this might be the case? Like, think about this. Why is the regime silencing analyst hardliners in Iran who are like there was one hardliner that came out, for example, said that this is clearly Israel and we will get revenge, and the regime immediately came and silenced the person. They removed the publication. They removed posts. No, it's not ego, because they have been. I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe like in that. Like maybe if you mean what I think you mean, then maybe you're right, because the regime always blamed everything on the on Israel and Jews and Zionists, right? Why is it that they're now doing the opposite? Why is it now they're actually trying to silence people who blame? Here, let me actually show you. Let me see what you're. I have a video of a mullah who was actually complaining about why the government is silencing them. Let me see. I could. Do you guys want to show me to show you that video? That the government is here silencing us for telling the truth. Why are we being silenced? Here, I could show you. You guys want to see that? Share this video. Hold on. Let me know if you want to see that. Okay. You guys give me your theories in the chat as I bring this video for you guys. Hold on. It was at the 10-minute 50-second mark, so let me show you that. Okay, not that one. This is not it. Give me a few seconds while I find this. No, it was a different video. Let me go to 9. Yes, okay, this one. انفجار بندر عباس کار کیه at the 9-minute mark. So it was this mullah here. Hold on. Let me try to find. It was at the 9-minute mark here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, found it. This is actually very interesting. Let me play this.
حالا که تو ذهن عموم مردم ایجاد میشه کسی نمیاد بده. میخوایم بیایم بگیم خرابکاری اتفاق افتاده، خیلی اوضاعمون خرابه آقا، خیلی. مثلا ما رسانه یا دوم علیپورو، من دوم داشتم، دوم منو جوری قیچی کردن، میگن نمیتونی هر حرفی بزنی، نمیتونی.
So he's saying we want to come and say that this was on purpose by Israel, but the officials have came and they cut our tails. So cut our tails means that they are basically warned us. They are punishing us. They're warning us not to give such an analysis.
بگی آقا هر حرفی چیه؟ ما که غلط میکنیم هر حرفی بزنیم، ولی این حرف ما هر حرفی نیست.
Like they are telling us that you're not allowed to have any kind of analysis, and he's saying that what are they talking about? What did you mean by every kind of analysis? This is not like a just a small analysis.
یه جوری شده ما یه زمانی بود گربه سر کوچه‌مون که میمرد مینداختیم گردن اسرائیل.
This is amazing. Listen to him. He's saying that there was a time. He's admitting this. Okay, he's saying there was a time that when a cat died in our alley, we would say that it was Israel. This is a mullah living in Iran, and he's admitting this. He's saying when a cat died in our alley, we would say that it was Israel killed the cat. This was before, all right?
گربه سر کوچه‌مون باردار میشد، دهین زایمان میمرد، مینداختم گردن اسرائیل.
For example, if a cat in our alley would get pregnant, and when it was giving birth, it would die, and we would say this was Israel. Israel killed the cat. And when we used to analyze like this, everybody would say like, yes, good job, you're right, it was Israel.
اسرائیل دستشه تو این ماجرا. امروز مردم یعنی وضعیت رو تو کشور ما یه طوری کردن.
He's saying, however, today the situation in our country is such that
میخوای بگی مرگ بر اسرائیل؟ باید این زمان قدیم میگفتن کسی جرئت نمیکرد بره مثلا زیارت عاشورا بخونه. یعنی دقیقاً همین حسو دارم تو کشورم. باید برم یه گوشه قایم بشم بگم مرگ بر اسرائیل.
So he's saying the situation in Iran is in such a way that if we want to say death to Israel, we cannot, like, we have to lower our voices. Like he's saying basically it's now taboo in Iran to say death to Israel. So if I want to go say death to Israel, I have to go somewhere, hide, and say it like quietly, say, lower my voice and say death to Israel, death to Israel. Like he's saying this is the situation in Iran right now.
همین حسو دارم تو کشورم. باید برم یه گوشه قایم بشم بگم مرگ بر اسرائیل، مرگ بر آمریکا. هیچی نگی ها.
Like we cannot say death to America at all, but even when they say death to Israel, we have to lower our voice.
در آمریکا گفتی ای به روند مذاکرات تاثیر میذاره.
Like, oh, they tell us that if you say death to America, you are basically you're basically harming the our negotiation survival chances.
تو ضد انقلاب.
Guys, this is so amazing because we used to make fun of these mullahs for blaming everything on Mossad and Israel, and this is a mullah living in Iran telling you this. Like, this is not me making fun of them. This is him saying that this is how it used to be.
تو کاسب تحریم میخوای مذاکرات شکست بخوره.
Like what? Oh, you're the enemy. You are the people who take advantage of the sanctions. You are the people who want the negotiations with the United States to basically not be successful, to fail.
نگو مرگ بر آمریکا. ببر دهن تو.
Like, don't say death to America. Shut your mouth up. So he's saying this mullah is basically complaining about being censored right now in Iran for not being able to say death to America.
روز دیگه فکر کنم به سمت مسجد بخوایم بریم با تیر میزننمون.
He's like he's saying if we keep going like this in Iran, if we keep going in the same direction, in a few days, if we want to go to a mosque, they're going to shoot us down. They're going to shoot us for wanting to go to the mosque. That's what he's saying.
زیارت عاشورا اینا باید بریم تو پستوهای خونمون یواشکی.
If we want to do Ashura, so basically some religious ceremonies, we have to go do it in our home and do it secretly if we keep going like
یه
this.
زیارت عاشورایی بزنیم به بدن. مبادا یه وقت کسی ببینه تو دشمن آمریکایی دشمن اسرائیلیا نفهمه کسی. علی پور یه وقت برنامه نسازی بگی خرابکاری کار اسرائیل.
Like, oh, they're telling me, by the way, the courts in Iran actually contacted him, and they told him that his YouTube videos are basically could be potentially illegal. So he's very pissed, by the way. He's very pissed. And he's saying is like, oh, like they're telling us that you cannot be anti-American and
نفهمه کسی. علی پور.
Okay, so this is the situation. This is the weakness, the pathetic weakness that the Iranian regime is in right now, because they're scared and they're desperate to try to make sure that the negotiations go well, right? Oh, let me actually unstart this one. Okay, thank you. Again, thank you, Sohail, for highlighting comments. Keep highlighting your comments. So, guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this was Israel or not Israel? And I will continue to show you some other videos of the explosion and some crazy ones that I still haven't shown you yet. But let me actually tell you some of the reasons why people are saying it's Israel and why some people are saying it's not Israel, right? By the way, Nina, thank you so much. Look, when somebody tries to spam, our admins are on the, like, right away. We have so many admins that they take care of the live chat. There was this Muslim trying to spam the chat. But Nina took care of it. Appreciate that, Nina. Guy, thank you to our admins for your service. Oh, timeouts only. Okay, good. The timeout is a warning, and if somebody consistently spams, guys, we don't ban people here for their opinions, as vile as, even if it's vile and disgusting, because we want to see it. But we do timeout you first and then ban you if you basically try to spam the live chat, and it also gives us an opportunity to thank our admins for their service. Okay, so here are the reasons why some Iranians say this was Israel, and some Iranians say it was not Israel. So the reasons why they say it was Israel is because it was done at the day of one of the negotiation days that the Iranian regime has with the Trump administration, and people say the timing is cannot be, like, it's just so on the day that it was supposedly carrying a message. Two, Netanyahu just came out very close to this explosion and basically suggested that whatever the negotiations, like, he's very clear that whatever the negotiations go, Israel will not allow the Iranian regime to be able to have nuclear weapons or ballistic missiles that could hurt Israelis. 3, we knew that this is a deal, like the fact that this was the Iranian regime has bought rocket fuels from China and been holding it in this port has been something that has been known, that we know that these rocket fuels were there. So that's another reason. And let me see what else. Oh, okay. Another major reason is because we have footage of people from Bandar Abbas, people who work in this port, specifically coming out and saying that the regime had lied to them about the what was in these containers, and they were filed on purpose wrongly. Like basically they were the things that were in these containers were not what the people who were working there told what that was in there. So a lot of people see that this is a sign that something the regime was hiding something there, right? And one of the major other reasons why people are saying that this was definitely on purpose is because the videos at the time of the explosions seems to suggest that there are multiple explosions distance apart happening at the same time. So if this was an accident, you would think that it would start from one place and then spreads. However, the footage suggests that there were multiple fires happening at the same time in different places. However, I don't know if that's an accurate way to analyze that, because maybe the video that you're seeing was from an initial explosion that then, I don't know, basically threw some flammable materials that was on fire in multiple places, and that's why maybe it looks like it started in multiple places at the same time. I don't know. I haven't yet seen anybody explain that properly, so we'll see about that. Oh, by the way, thank you so much, 655, for giving us a super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. This is actually very generous. Thank you for an orange super sticker. I appreciate that. So these are some of the reasons why people think that this was on purpose. Now, regarding who did it, a lot of people say it's the Iranian regime itself to take advantage of, I don't know, causing chaos. However, I don't see that happening, because again, this port is such an economically important port, not just for the Iranian people, but also for the Iranian regime. And this actually could potentially paralyze the economy in such a way that is really hard to recover from, especially because a major factor within the potential for future economic growth within Iran depends on the north-south corridor that the Iranian regime wants to create, and Bandar Abbas is the key port within that corridor, and basically showing this level of insecurity basically might completely derail and paralyze decades of potential growth in the future coming for the Iranian regime. So this is basically, yes, we have seen the Iranian regime sometimes kill its own people or cause an explosion itself within Iran to basically take advantage of that, but not this is on a different level, right? This is completely on a different level. So another reason why some people suggest that this was not Israel is they keep pointing to the assassination of Fakhrizadeh, which was the nuclear scientist that Mossad took out in Iran, which many Iranians were very impressed by, because the way Mossad killed Fakhrizadeh, that nuclear scientist, a lot of Iranians were happy with that assassination, especially because they killed him. Mossad assassinated that guy in such a masterful way, so much that nobody else got injured. And that includes his own wife that was basically sitting right next to him. And Mossad managed to kill him in Iran without causing any harm to any other person. So a lot of Iranians say that, oh no, the Israeli government cares for the Iranian people and they would never get involved in such an operation where so many civilians would die. However, I mentioned on the Persian stream that just because Mossad is capable of sometimes carrying out operations like the pager attack or like Ismail Haniya or the taking out of Fakhrizadeh these are exceptions. These are not. These are masterful. These are operations that Israel has managed to carry out, where the collateral damage and the damage to civilians was minimum or none. But that doesn't mean that Mossad is always able to carry out operations like that. These operations are unique. It's true that Israel, most of the time when they do operations like this, they try and do a very good job in reducing collateral damage, but that's not always going to be possible. And we have examples of Israel carrying out operations where we had civilian casualties, but the Israeli government, at the end of the day, tries to reduce civilian casualty. It's not able to completely reduce it to none. And Israel's government is basically, its main duty and loyalty and expectation is to save Israeli people from harm. So, yeah, when you have these when Israel has successfully taken out a lot of the threats that the Iranian regime could do to Israeli citizens, and now it's in the process of recreating that, the Israeli regime will try to, basically neutralize that when it has the chance. And yeah, it will try to reduce civilian casualties, but if it cannot reduce it any farther, it's not going to stop protecting its civilians, its own citizens, especially after October 7th. They have very clearly signaled that they will not let anything stand between them and the regime and the government of Israel protecting its own citizens. So that's why I think the idea of like pointing out to the assassination of Fakhrizadeh and saying that Israel will never harm Iranian people, and I tell them, guys, if this was Mossad, that this was not Israel harming Iranian people. This was the Iranian regime harming the Iranian people. Okay, because this was clearly, if this was a rocket fuels and this was a Mossad operation, this was clearly an example of human shields, using human shield. Why? Because there was already a military port that the Iranian regime could have used. And instead of using the military port, the Iranian regime used for the importing and storing of the rocket fuel, the Iranian regime used the civilian port instead of the military port. So this is a clear use of human shields to protect their rocket fuels, if this is what happened. So this is and it's the Iranian regime that has put the Iranian people in such a situation. The Israeli government is only doing its job. I mean, unless we get the details of this operations, if we ever find out how it was, maybe we could criticize it or or support it more clearly. But as of right now, based on what we know, even if this was Israel, the blame goes to the Iranian regime. I mean, the blame that we know of goes to the Iranian regime, not to Mossad. So let me know what you guys think about that. I will read some of the comments that Sohail has starred. But before that, let's go to look at some more footage about the explosion. Let me see, what is this? No, I don't need to. Show this one. Let me go to some. So let me go to, oh yeah, this one. This footage was crazy. So look at this. You can see the initial explosion, and then eventually the shockwave hits her. So at first she hears that something is happening, but then eventually the shockwave hits this room. So let's watch this together. Let me see if I have this. So she hears something and she gets shocked, and all of a sudden she stands up. So she goes to the window to see what's happening, and as soon as she gets to the window to see what's happening, the shockwave hits the window. So watch this. So one more time, because you might have missed it. Yeah, so that was crazy. Let's go to this one. Okay, this one we already watched. Let's actually read this. Let's read this analysis and see what we think here. Okay. So, just a few hours after the explosion in Bandar Abbas, there was another explosion in the not so distant Shahid Rajai port in Iran. There is no confirmation that the explosions are linked. Yeah, so guys, we have other explosions in other places in Iran just hours after. So this is weird that it's all happening. So yeah, the fact that we're having and these are also giant explosions, right? The fact that we're having explosions in Bandar Abbas and just a few hours after we have explosions in other places in Iran, like in Tehran. The fact that this is happening, a lot of people are like, okay, this is too much of a coincidence. There's something, somebody is doing something. Right. So again, I will read what you guys think as soon as I finish these analysis. Well, there is no confirmation that explosions are linked, but the coincidence is suspicious. In the videos, you can see how it starts with orange mist from ammonium nitrate, often used as fertilizers. Yeah, some people are saying this could be rocket fuel, but it could also be material that they use in fertilizers. Okay, then a fire. But some people are saying that it cannot be some again, I'm seeing so many experts saying different things and saying like, yeah, the initial material could have been stuff that is used for fertilizers, but the way the explosion happened could have only been if it was like rocket fuel. But again, I'm not an expert on this, so I don't know who's who's being right here. Okay. Shahid Rajai port is Iran's largest port, handling 85% of all loading and unloading of containers. I don't know if this is referring to it's also the second largest container port. I don't know if this is referring to the Tehran explosions or not, because I think it's not, but because that's not a port. I think I misunderstood that. But so again, so we have multiple explosions, some in Bandar Abbas, and then we have some in other places in Iran. So that makes it very suspicious. I know that much. This was something that a lot of people wanted you to see because the aid workers were helping a dog, and this guy had a very interesting. I just wanted to show you some in this all this chaos and death and suffering. I wanted to show you something beautiful. So this person is saying, Iran, 8 workers rescue a dog from the Bandar Abbas explosion. Islamic Republic regime rounds up and kills dog en masse. So the regime, actually, there's policies by the Iranian regime to kill dogs, which is because they're Islamic and they're anti-dog. And it says it's not the Islamic Republic of Iran, it's the Islamic Republic and its lobby in the West versus Iran. So basically trying to show that the Iranian people themselves are not anti-dog. It's just the regime and the Islamists in Iran that are anti-dog. So let's watch. These are the aid workers who are rescuing this dog. Okay. Oh my God, poor baby. The guy is saying its heart rate is very high. I think the dog is stressed, and also like. Okay. So just wanted you to see that. Okay, so maybe this is okay. Let me see if I want to read this. Yes, let's read this. China, you've done it again. Another explosion at Iran's Bandar Abbas port killed 15. Okay, the number is actually much, much higher. This was just a few hours after, so I think that's why I'm saying 15. Guys, I don't know if the numbers are true, but some people are saying the numbers could be up to 700, but I don't know if that's a real number or not. Okay, so 15 and injured almost 1,000. And guess what caused it? Sodium perchlorate, a missile fuel component imported from China. China is sending over rocket fuel to Iran like it's a package of socks. And surprise, surprise, it blows up. This port handles 85%. Okay, so that of Iran's trade, it is out of commission. That's a major economic hit to Iran. Can someone please remind me why countries are trusting China with anything? It's not their spy balloons. It's dangerous chemicals. Okay, yep. So here's some evidence. Some people are saying that this was just mismanagement, because this person saying that they found this letter of some Iranian officials, some Iranian, people that were warning the government that, guys, you're holding this stuff in this port and it's very unsecure. So let me see what this analysis is saying. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. The Islamic Republic has committed a grave crime against the people of Iran. Internal documents from Islamic Republic's Ministry of Health following the explosion and fire at Rajai port in Bandar Abbas. Okay, so that other tweet was talking about Bandar Abbas port. So the port is called Rajai port. Okay. Confirmed the presence of toxic and acidic chemical pollutants threatening civilian lives. Despite full awareness of the imminent danger, the authorities failed to adequately inform, protect, or evacuate the population. This deliberate negligence, okay, so is it deliberate negligence? Isn't that like contradictory? I don't know. This deliberate negligence and the guys isn't deliberate negligence kind of contradictory? Is it deliberate or negligent? Okay, this deliberate negligence and the continued exposure of civilians, especially vulnerable groups such as children and pregnant women and ordinary people, to deadly chemical containment constitutes a clear and undeniable crime against humanity by the Islamic Republic. So you can see this letter that was dated a few before this accident happened, that people were warning. I don't know, people were warning that something like this could happen. So this might suggest that some people are suggesting this shows that this was just an accident. But even let me actually tell you guys, this is something that I mentioned in my Persian stream on our Persian channel. I would tell them that whatever happened, obviously our point, we should be pointing our fingers at the Islamic Republic. Okay, so it's either negligence done by the Islamic Republic or done by Mossad. Okay, it's one of these three. Right, mostly. I mean, there could be other things, but these are the main three options, right? All three of them should make us just angry at the Islamic Republic. There's nobody else that we should be angry at. It's the Islamic Republic. If it's negligence, it's the Iranian regime not protecting its civilians. If it's the Islamic Republic doing this on purpose, obviously we should be angry at the Islamic Republic. If it's Mossad, the Iranian regime has waged war on a country that is none of our business, and the Israeli government is just trying to protect its civilians, and now we're paying the price for it. So again, all three of these options, whichever it is, it should make us basically just condemning the Islamic Republic, whichever it is, right? So again, I don't know which it is, but we could so let me actually look at your comments, guys, in the chat. Also, let me actually have this ready, guys. Before I read your comments in the chat, let me actually tell you that let me see, like after the stream, so within an hour after the stream, I have another stream on my own personal channel, and that this channel is mostly about Islam and politics and geopolitics like that, but and stuff like that. But on my personal channel, I talk about the future of technology, AI, and the new economic and technological order of everything that we're going to be facing and very soon because of all these technological advancements, and how to prepare for that. And this is going to be on my personal channel, on the Armin Navabi channel, and this is the show is called "Most People Use AI Wrong: Learn the Right Way or Lose the Future." And I'm going to show you how I use AI to try to stay ahead, and this is basically the best way to use AI as it is today, to basically use it for everything. And this is going to be relevant to anybody within whatever field you are, or basically for your personal life. This is the best way, in my experience, to use AI, and it's a very important skill to have. Even if you do use AI on a day-to-day basis, or you don't use it at all, I will show you how to use it to basically get the most out of it. And if you watch the show, you will realize that this is something that you shouldn't not be missing. Okay, so again, that's going to be on my personal channel, Armin Navabi YouTube channel. The link to this is in the description, and I'll also put it in the live chat. So after this show, I'm going to go over there and come and we will talk about that there. Okay, so let's go to your comments in the chat. Nina is saying the attack in Kashmir recently revealed that Pakistan might be behind the nuke and rocket power between them, North Korea and Iran. Wait, the attack in Kashmir recently revealed that Pakistan might be behind the nuke and rocket power between them. I don't know, North Korea and Iran. I don't know exactly what you mean here, but I don't know. Are you talking about this explosion in Bandar Abbas having something to do with Pakistan? Because I haven't heard any analysis like that. Gene is saying actually it does. What? The IDF doesn't comment if it's if that's its work. Yeah. Also, it would likely be Shin 16 or amphibious assault. Okay, who are part of the IDF. Mossad doesn't really do this type of thing. Okay, so what I heard by analysts that it was that this would be a Mossad thing. So you're saying no, IDF has certain units within it that does these kinds of operation. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you so much for the education. I will look into that. Shin 16. Okay, so that guys, so this is good. So our own community is correcting something that I said, because I was listening to some other analysts and they said something that maybe so that was wrong. So Jean seems to be knowing this better. So Jean has a good information regarding how the IDF operates. So that's good to know. Okay, so I will look into that. Shin 16, I will look into that so I have better understanding of this next time I talk about it. This is great. This is why I look at the comment section, and this is why our community is so great. So whenever I say something wrong, I'm corrected by my community. Nitsan is saying, how would the explosion affect the negotiations with America? So again, this is why the Iranian regime is desperately trying to get people not to blame this on Israel. Oh yeah, I actually forgot to explain to you why they're doing that. There's two reasons. Because the Iranian regime is desperate for the negotiations with Trump to work, and if this was Israel, and people, hardliners in Iran, get convinced that this was Israel, and Israel, they consider Israel to be basically a puppet of America, and therefore they will say that this is America. So America is attacking our port, destroying in this way, while they're doing negotiation with us. So it will get a lot of more hardliners to basically pressure the government to quit the negotiations. So this would basically derail the negotiations if more hardliners within Iran are convinced that this was Israel. Another reason that the regime wants to convince that doesn't want to blame this on Israel is because hardliners would want revenge on Israel, and the Iranian regime is not at all in any capacity to do any types of revenge on Israel. So because they know that they're incapable of doing so, and that's why they don't want the hardliners to think that. But the effect on the negotiations would only be massive if more hardliners are convinced that this was Israel, and then they would want to pressure the government to pull out of the negotiations. So let's see. Mahdi is saying, hey Armin, it seems that there has been a new explosion in Isfahan just about 2 hours ago. Are you serious? What the hell? Okay, so if there's more, so we have explosions all over the place. Chemical factory blast in Isfahan. Okay, so yeah, we have another explosion, guys. We have another explosion in Isfahan. God damn it. What? This is crazy. So again, this is 2 hours ago. You're right. No, it's just 5 hours ago, actually. Chemical factory blast Isfahan as you know. Okay, so this basically suggests that this is Gene, is your analysis now that this is Israel? Because this is too much of a coincidence. We have multiple explosions in many different places in Iran. This doesn't seem to be an accident anymore. This is not a coincidence. Yeah, people are saying this is orchestrated. Carl is saying this is not a coincidence. So we have Tehran, we have Bandar Abbas, and now we have Isfahan. Holy crap. Yeah, okay. So the idea of this being negligence or mismanagement just went, the chances of that just got reduced significantly. Multiple fire, not explosion. Okay, multiple fire, not explosion. Okay, thank you. So it's Israel. It's Israel, guys. What do you guys think? Gene, are you here? Yeah, Dia saying yes, something more. I'm kind of saying maybe it's Jen's. Nitzan is saying, isn't Isfahan the nuclear site? No, Natanz close to Isfahan is a nuclear site. Isfahan itself is close to a nuclear site. Is Gene here? I want to see Gene's analysis on this. Because Gene was suggesting, yeah, okay, Gene is saying that sounds likely. Okay, so Gene is also being convinced that this might be actually Israel now. So let me actually thank you guys. This is why I do these live with you guys, because you guys in real time give me better information. Gene is like, wow, this happened when I was sleeping. Gene is saying, my spouse says the rocket fuel is known to be shipped via this port. Yes, exactly. Apparently one ship was already sent back to China for improper storage. Oh, okay. So they're gonna blame. I don't know if where's that source of that information, because it would be tempting for the Iranian regime to blame China instead of themselves. And Becca is saying, have you not considered that it could be a genuine mistake? Yeah, I did. I did consider it. We talked about it in the stream as one of the options. Stashing ammonium is dangerous and would most definitely need very, very, very careful treatment. Yes, I did consider that. That's why I had this letter here for you guys ready. To this guy suggesting that this was like a by the way, a genuine mistake. Not a, I wouldn't. I don't want to call it. Again, if it was a mistake, it's still the government failing to protect its civilians, right? So let's be clear about that. But yeah, I did consider that. That was one of the options that we considered. Purple Pup saying the Iranian official that blamed Israel said something along the lines of an accident on 4 different epicenters. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that guy, there was an official that said this was Israel, and the regime just went after him and they shut him down, right? So now that we're seeing explosions in multiple places, now the hardliners that were at the beginning suggesting that this is Israel and the regime was trying to shut them down, they're going to come out and they're going to act like, look at this, we are being oppressed, we hardliners are being oppressed. Now that it's being clear that this is not this is this is not an accident, they're going to go to the other hardliners, be like, look at us, we are being oppressed, and now it's clear that we were right. And a lot of hardliners are going to feel vindicated, and they're also going to feel like more anti-regime because the regime tried to shut them up, and now more analysis is going to be on their side. So they're going to use that this is now a victimhood card that they're going to have in their hand to get more hardliners to be on their side against the regime. That's an important thing. This is my prediction. Well, I said it here first, okay? Because I haven't seen that yet. If it comes true, I will show it to you guys, and you guys should be impressed with this prediction, okay? Let me see. Okay, also, let me see if I could find something important to show you guys. If I could find it, because it's important. Let me see. Okay, yes. I found. But let me actually respond to your comments first. Mugiwara is saying same thing happened to Lebanon before. It's not Israel. It's just stupid Islamists. Again, just because something happened before, it doesn't mean that this is exactly like that. Okay, like what happened in Beirut is one thing. This happened in Beirut, so this must be like that. Like, no, it might be that. It might be something else. You can't just use one. A sample size of one to come up with conclusion about this being exactly like that. Falcon X is saying, Armin, have you done any deep dive on asymmetrical warfare? I mean, depends on what you mean by deep dive. But yeah, asymmetrical warfare is something that the Iranian regime tried to master then, and it was working with them for a long time until October 7th. Weebait is saying China removed their rocket force commander because corruption had caused the fuel to be unstable. Iran bought it. I don't know if this is true. I haven't heard that, but that's incredible if that's true. And Iranian official. Okay, yes, I already read that one. Let me actually show you what Reza Pahlavi's, because I saw some people in the chat was saying Reza Pahlavi, King Reza Pahlavi. So let's actually look at Reza Pahlavi's takes. So Reza Pahlavi here. Let me actually show. So guys, it's important. Reza Pahlavi is an important person to follow. He's the crown prince, and he's the most popular politician by most loved and popular politician by Iranian people. He's the son of the previous Shah, the previous king of Iran from the Pahlavi dynasty. So it's important to follow him and look at his take, because his take is the closest to the highest number of Iranians. Okay, so this is the a voice that represents the largest number of Iranians compared to any other voice out there. Okay, so if you want to have a good representative of what the Iranian people think is right, listen to Reza Pahlavi, right? So let's see what Reza Pahlavi is saying. For example, regarding the Bandar Abbas, saying دست خامنه‌ای به خون ملت آغشته است. So basically, he's putting a post saying that the hands of Khamenei is drenched in the blood of the Iranian people. So he's blaming Khamenei for this explosion. Yeah, so that was his take on this on the explosion, right? So again, which is our take here as well. All right, guys, again, I'm gonna go. Now that we covered everything, again, thank you guys. Thank you, Sohail, for being here, and thank you guys. Still better than King Charles. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna compare. I don't want to cause a fight, but oh yeah, actually, let me. So I would read Gene's comment as well, but let me actually advertise my next show that is happening in an hour from now on my personal channel. Again, you can search Armin. I have two personal channels, one Armin Navabi in English and one Armin Navabi in Persian. But if you just search for my name, Armin Navabi on YouTube, that will show up. And again, my next that channel is more about not just the future of economics, finance, and technology, and the new world order that we are about to see, and the change of everything that we're about to see, but also what to do about it personally to be able to have the upper hand. Okay, so the next show is called most people use AI wrong, learn the right way, or lose the future. Okay, so that's the link is in the description. I also put it in the live chat. So I'm going to go, and in 1 hour, I'm going to see you on that channel, on my personal channel over there. Let me see what Gene is saying. Gene is saying the IDF saying that they didn't do it is surprising. It is surprising accurate. It's when they say nothing is when you should be suspicious. Yeah, okay, so the IDF sometimes doesn't say anything. So Gene, how do we so most of the time IDF doesn't deny or doesn't confirm that they did an attack or not. Okay, but on this Bandar Abbas attack, the IDF came out and said in Jerusalem Post, if I remember correctly, that referred to it, that this wasn't them. But now we're seeing multiple fires and multiple attacks. So we have the IDF denying that this was them, which is not usual, because they usually neither deny or confirm. But we're also saying multiple attacks, multiple incidents happening in different places in Iran, which suggests that somebody's doing this on purpose. So I don't know, how do we look at these two contradictory pieces of information that we have? What do you think, Gene? What do you think with these two pieces of information? Gene is saying, and they say nothing about the other attacks. Yes. Yeah, they didn't say. So we don't know. It could be some parts of the Iranian regime taking actions against other parts of Iranian regime. Okay, so let me know, guys. Let me know based on everything that we said here today, because I give you a lot of information for both sides, for all the options that we have on the table. Based on the analysis, based on the information that we have, what is your analysis? What do you think is the most likelihood explanation for what's happening? Okay, we're gonna keep an eye on this, and if things escalate on this news, we're going to cover it again to see what's happening. So follow us for more. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Leave a like, because this channel is really good in the analysis and the information I'm giving you here. Also, it's a group effort, it's a community effort. And also leave comments. Okay, leave your comments and tell me what you guys think. I will read your comments if we follow this up, which probably we will. I will use your analysis in the comment section to come up with, to do more research. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna go and see you in an hour on my personal channel. So for now, bye. Oh, thank you, cat lady.